Recording begins. Galactic date 47,293.6. They called me paranoid. I adjust my neural recorder, my four hands smoothing down my ceremonial admiral's uniform. Admiral Kaz Nexus, they said, you worry too much about the humans. Well, who's paranoid now? I pause, watching the holographic display showing another world, beautiful Centauri Prime, vanishing in a flash of sickly green light. My antennae droop as I continue the recording. For the historical archives, I should start at the beginning. 3 solar cycles ago, we detected an anomaly at the edge of the Andromeda Arm. Our sensors registered it as a simple spatial distortion. Nothing unusual in the vastness of space. Right? Wrong. By the time we realized what we were dealing with, 5 colony worlds had gone dark. The emergency alarms of Brightstar 7 space station howl in the background. I can hear the panic in the corridors outside my office. The council is gathering, but they're too late. They're always too late. Computer, display casualty count. Numbers flash across my screen. Billions. Gone in an instant. Not killed, simply erased, as if they never existed. My third heart nearly stops at the sight. Emergency council meeting in 5 minutes, the station AI announces, its usually calm voice carrying an edge of fear. I straighten my posture, all 4 shoulders back. For the record, I want it known that I warned them. 10 cycles ago, when we first discovered Earth, I said we shouldn't dismiss them. They're primitive, the council said. They still burn fossil fuels, they laughed. They fight among themselves, they scoffed. The door chimes. Council chairperson Lyra Brightwing enters, her bioluminescent markings pulsing with anxiety. Kaz, it's time. I nod, but keep recording. Yes, they fight among themselves. That's exactly why we need them now. Because anyone who can survive their own nature, who can thrive despite their endless internal conflicts, they might be our only hope against what's coming. The Grand Council chamber is packed. 200 of the galaxy's finest minds gathered in terror. The normally pristine white walls seem dimmer today, as if the very station senses our dread. Representatives from 50 species fill the tiered seating, their combined universal translator creating a subtle hum in the air. The entity has breached the outer defense line, announces High Commander Rick Stormwind, his holographic form flickering above the central podium. Our most powerful weapons pass straight through it. Conventional physics seems meaningless in its presence. Murmurs of despair ripple through the chamber. I stand, my voice cutting through the noise. There is one species that specializes in defying physics, I say. One race that takes pride in achieving the impossible. No council member pack, Swiftwing scales flash warning colors. The humans are quarantined for a reason. I play my final card. The entity will reach Earth eventually. Don't they deserve a chance to fight? And more importantly, don't we deserve a chance to survive? Silence falls. In the quiet, another alarm sounds, another world gone dark. The human's Lyra Brightwing speaks slowly, her markings now a deep purple of resignation. They have a saying, fight fire with fire. Yes, I reply. And they have many more sayings about fighting. That's exactly why we need them. The vote is quick. Desperate times breed desperate measures. As I prepare the first contact team, I make one final record entry. To whoever finds this, know that we tried everything else first. But when faced with an impossible enemy, we chose to ally with those who specialize in achieving the impossible. May the universe forgive us for what we're about to unleash. I pause the recording, watching the first contact vessel power up. Computer, add personal note: if we survive this, I'm going to need a drink. Several drinks, preferably something as potent as human whiskey. The ship launches, carrying our desperate plea to Earth. Those poor fools have no idea what's coming. Then again, neither does the entity that's about to meet humanity. Recording ends. Recording resumes. Galactic date 47,293.8. Ambassador Ryle Starweaver's personal log, supplementing Admiral Nexus's records. We've just entered the Sol system, and I'm already regretting accepting this mission. The humans have detected us. Their response: launching something they call pizza to welcome us. I'm told it's not a weapon. But given humanity's reputation, I remain skeptical. The massive view screen of the diplomatic vessel Starseeker shows Earth growing larger. A swarm of small ships surrounds us, their escort, they claim. I count at least 50 vessels, all armed. So much for a peaceful welcome. Approaching Earth Defense Perimeter, announces our pilot, First Officer Tala Moonwhisper. They're hailing us. Again. I straighten my ceremonial robes. On screen, the human who appears makes several of our crew gasp. They've been briefed about human appearances, but seeing one is different. Commander Andrea Blake stands with a confidence that borders on arrogance, her dark skin contrasting with the pristine white of her uniform. Most unsettling are her eyes. They seem to look right through our carefully practiced diplomatic facades. Ambassador Starweaver, she says, pronouncing my name perfectly. Welcome to Earth. I trust our pizza delivery found you well. Yes, Commander Blake. Though I must admit, we're still analyzing it for tactical purposes. She laughs. The sound makes my antennae vibrate. It's just cheese, tomato sauce, and dough. Although I'd avoid the pineapple one. That's controversial even among humans. Behind me, our science officer frantically notes down this information about pineapple as a potential source of human conflict. Commander, I say, trying to steer the conversation back to our mission. We request immediate audience with your United Earth Command. The situation is... An alarm blares. Officer Moonwhisper's hands fly across her console. Ambassador, the entity, it's just erased the Proxima Centauri colony. Blake's expression shifts instantly from diplomatic pleasantry to military focus. What entity? I send the data package we'd prepared. Watching Blake review it, I see something that chills all three of my hearts. She's smiling. Clear all channels, she barks. Get me General Marcus Thompson and Director Sophia Patel. Now. The next hours pass in a blur. We're escorted to their orbital command station, a surprisingly elegant structure for such a warlike species. The human leaders gather quickly, their efficiency and crisis matching anything I've seen in the Galactic Council. General Thompson, a scarred veteran with silver hair, studies our tactical displays with disturbing enthusiasm. Director Patel, her augmented eyes glowing softly, processes data faster than our AI assistants. Commander Blake paces, asking questions that cut straight to the heart of our predicament. Let me get this straight, Blake says, interrupting my careful diplomatic presentation. This entity ignores the laws of physics, erases matter from existence, and can't be harmed by any weapon you've tried. Correct. Our most advanced. Perfect, Thompson grins. Humans show teeth when pleased, I remind myself. It's not a threat display. Probably. When can we engage? I blink all four eyes in succession. General, perhaps I wasn't clear. This entity has destroyed 15 worlds. Nothing works against it. We came to warn you, to perhaps collaborate on evacuation. Director Patel raises her hand. Ambassador, what exactly did your weapons do when they hit it? They passed through. As if it wasn't there. But it clearly is there, since it affects physical matter when it wants to, Blake muses. So it's choosing when to interact with our dimension. Which means Thompson leans forward, it's making decisions. And anything that makes decisions can make mistakes. The humans share a look that makes my scales ripple with unease. Commander Blake Patel's augmented eyes flicker with calculations. Get me everything we have on quantum tunneling and dimensional phase variance. General, we'll need the prototype from Project Firewall. The one that nearly caused a localized collapse of space-time, Thompson asks. Exactly. I love it, Blake grins. That teeth showing again. Ambassador Starweaver, how would you feel about a little experiment? Before I can respond, our sensors scream again. The entity has appeared at the edge of the Sol system. The humans don't panic. Instead, they become even calmer, more focused. Perfect timing, Blake says. Ambassador, you're about to see why the Galactic Council was right to quarantine us. Not because we're dangerous, but because we're crazy enough to try the impossible, Thompson finishes, and just stupid enough to succeed. I send a private message to Admiral Nexus, sir. I think we may have made a terrible mistake. The humans aren't treating this as a crisis. They're treating it as an opportunity. His response is immediate good, because that's exactly why we chose them. Looking at the eager expressions on the human faces around me, I can't help but wonder who's really the more terrifying force here, the physics-defying entity, or the species that sees it as a chance to test their latest reality-bending weapons. The humans have a saying, "Be careful what you wish for." I'm starting to understand why. Recording paused. Recording resumes. Galactic date 47,294.1. Admiral Nexus, you need to see this. Ambassador Starweaver's voice crackles through my comm unit. The humans are... I don't even have words for what they're doing. I rush to the observation deck of Earth's orbital station. Through the reinforced windows, I watch as human ships perform maneuvers that defy both physics and sanity. They're flying directly at each other, pulling away at the last possible moment in some sort of training exercise. They call it chicken, Commander Blake explains, appearing beside me. It's about nerve. It's about insanity, I correct her. She shrugs. Same thing, sometimes. The past 3 days have been a blur of preparations. The humans didn't waste time with lengthy planning sessions or diplomatic protocols. Instead, they immediately began retrofitting our ships with what they call experimental technology. The word makes me nervous. Everything about humans makes me nervous. Look at this. First Officer Moonwhisper bursts into the room, waving a data pad. They want to modify our quantum stabilizers to intentionally destabilize them. Exactly. Director Patel follows her in, those augmented eyes gleaming. If the entity exists partially outside normal space-time, we need to match that state. Think of it like learning to swim by jumping into the deep end. But you might drown, I point out. Or learn to breathe underwater, Blake counters. We won't know until we try. The next scene unfolds in their training facility, where human soldiers are teaching our crew hand-to-hand combat. Not that it would work against the entity, but as General Thompson says, you never know what might come in handy. No, Sergeant Maya Turner shouts at a group of our warriors. You have 6 arms. That's 3 times the punching power. Stop being so gentle. I watch as Turner demonstrates by taking down training officer Sol Brightwind, all 8 feet of him, with a move she calls a suplex. Our medical team rushes to help, but Sol jumps up, his scales practically glowing with excitement. Again, he shouts, "Show me that move again." In the technology bay, things are even more chaotic. Our engineers stare in horror as human technicians literally duct tape components together. This is not proper engineering protocol, Chief Engineer Vera Swiftstar protests. But it works. Technical specialist Jack Murphy slaps the jerry-rigged device. It hums to life, producing readings that should be impossible. See? Sometimes you gotta stop thinking about why it shouldn't work and just make it work. The hybrid technology they're creating terrifies and amazes me in equal measure. They've combined our dimensional phase shifters with something they called a bass boost speaker system. The result? A weapon that might actually affect the entity. It's like this, Blake explains during our strategy session. Your technology is elegant, precise, perfect. Ours is messy, unpredictable, but adaptable. Apart, neither works against this thing. Together. She gestures to the test chamber, where a small-scale version of their device has just turned a controlled quantum field inside out. Several of our scientists faint. Together, Thompson grins. We're going to show this entity why you don't mess with life in this galaxy. The most surprising developments are the friendships forming. I find Sol Brightwind and Sergeant Turner exchanging combat techniques and jokes in the mess hall. Chief Swiftstar and Murphy are arguing over modifications while sharing something called coffee. A substance that seems to fuel human innovation. Even Ambassador Starweaver has adapted. I catch her teaching Commander Blake our traditional victory dance, while Blake introduces her to something called air guitar. You know what's funny? Blake says to me as we watch another round of completely insane flight maneuvers. You came to us because you thought we were your last hope. But working with your people, combining our strengths, we're better than either of us would be alone. A massive explosion rocks the station. Training room 7 is filled with smoke. Murphy's voice comes over the comm. Don't worry. That was supposed to happen. Mostly. Are you sure about that? I ask Blake. The better together part, not the explosion. She laughs. The explosion too. When we first detected your ships, we thought we were about to face an invasion. Instead, we found partners. And speaking as someone who studied Earth's military history, Partners are how we win our biggest battles. The station's AI announces entity approaching outer defense perimeter. All personnel to battle stations. Blake's expression turns serious. Time to test our theory. Ready to make history, Admiral. You mean ready to break several laws of physics and probably a few of thermodynamics? Exactly. May the stars help us all, I mutter, but I'm smiling too. The human's madness is infectious. As our combined fleet moves into position, I record one final note to any future historians: what you're about to witness is either the greatest achievement in galactic history or the most spectacular failure. Either way, I blame the humans and thank them. Recording paused. Recording resumes. Galactic date 47,294.3. All ships, battle positions. Commander Blake's voice cuts through the command channel. Remember the plan. What plan, I ask from my position on the flagship bridge? The one where we fly straight at the reality-ending horror, or the part where we blast it with speakers playing something called dubstep? Both, she replies cheerfully. Task Force Alpha, take formation. The entity looms ahead of us, a writhing mass of not quite their darkness that hurts to look at. Our sensors still can't properly define it. As First Officer Moonwhisper puts it, it's like trying to scan a headache. The human ships move with practiced precision, taking positions that seem random but form what General Thompson calls a tactical chaos pattern our vessels follow, though every combat instructor we've ever had screams that this formation is suicide. Target approaching optimal range, Director Patel announces from her command post. Quantum resonance at 72% and rising. Murphy, how's our base drop coming along? Ready to shake the fabric of reality. Boss Murphy's voice crackles with static. Fair warning though, this might make everyone's teeth vibrate, and possibly turn some colors inside out. I watch the tactical display as the entity notices us. It moves like liquid darkness, flowing through space in ways that make my navigation officers whimper. Then it does something new. It stops. How Blake shouts. It's confused. Plans working, people. Execute Operation Headbanger. The first wave of human ships breaks formation, charging straight at the entity, while broadcasting an unholy combination of frequencies. Our modified sensors pick up quantum fluctuations that shouldn't be possible. The entity ripples. It's working. Ambassador Starweaver sounds shocked. It's actually working. Then everything goes wrong. The entity splits into multiple segments, each one targeting a different ship. 3 human vessels vanish instantly. Our carefully planned formation scatters. Maintain positions, Thompson barks. This is exactly what we expected. You expected this, I demand. We expected it to fight back, Blake explains. Murphy, Plan B. You mean the really stupid one? That's the one. Murphy's voice fills all channels. Attention all ships. Switch to frequency 7.83 Hz. And maybe hold on to something. What happens next defies explanation. The combined output of our hybrid weapons creates a sound that isn't really a sound. It's like space itself is humming. My teeth definitely vibrate. Several crew members report tasting purple. The entity reacts violently, its form distorting. But it's still not enough. It lashes out, erasing another 2 ships from existence. Analysis, Blake demands. It's adapting, Patel reports. The frequency isn't holding it. We need something more, Murphy. Remember that thing you said would definitely tear a hole in the universe? The thing you specifically ordered me not to try. That's the one. Oh, thank God, Murphy sounds relieved. I already set it up. Just needed someone to take the blame. Warning lights flash across every console. Our engineers start praying in 17 different languages. The entity surges forward, ready to eliminate our entire fleet. Now Blake orders. Murphy activates his device. The resulting wave of energy makes the previous attack look like a gentle breeze. Reality buckles. For a brief moment, I swear I can see through time. The entity shudders, its form becoming more solid as our weapons force it to fully manifest in our dimension. But it's still not enough. The darkness spreads, reaching for our ships. Hull breach on decks 3 through 7, Moonwhisper shouts. We're losing containment. Status on the quantum field, Blake demands. Field is collapsing, Patel reports. We need more power. Divert everything, Thompson orders. Life support, artificial gravity, everything. That'll kill us all, I point out. Blake grins that terrifying human grin. Only if we lose. The entity closes in. Our shields fail. Emergency sirens wail. In these final moments, I understand something fundamental about humans. They don't believe in no-win scenarios because they're too stubborn to accept defeat. All ships, Blake's voice remains steady. On my mark, divert all power to the quantum resonance wave. Everything. Even the coffee makers. Not the coffee makers, Murphy protests. Everything. I watch our power readings spike into levels that should be impossible. Warning messages flash faster than we can read them. The entity reaches for us with tendrils of pure nothing. Admiral Blake calls. It's been an honor. Also, you might want to close your eyes. Why? Because this is going to be bright. She gives the order. Every ship in our fleet dumps their entire power supply into one massive reality-bending wave. The fabric of space tears. The entity screams a sound that exists in frequencies that shouldn't be possible. Then everything goes white. Recording temporarily disrupted due to quantum fluctuations. Recording resumes. Galactic date 47,294.4. Status report. My voice sounds strange in my own ears as consciousness returns. The white light fades, revealing a bridge in complete disarray. Warning lights flash silently. Our audio systems are completely fried. Did we just punch a hole in reality? First Officer Moonwhisper asks, pulling herself up from the floor. Not exactly, Director Patel's voice crackles through a barely functioning comm unit. We created a quantum resonance cascade that forced the entity to fully materialize in our dimension while simultaneously hitting it with enough energy to well. We gave the universe's scariest monster a headache so bad it had to lie down, Murphy simplifies, his transmission filled with static. Through our main viewport, I watch in astonishment as the entity writhes. It's completely visible now, its form somehow both solid and fluid. And it's shrinking? The quantum resonance trapped it in a state of dimensional flux, Blake explains, her image flickering on our emergency screens. It can't maintain its form in our reality without expending massive amounts of energy. And thanks to Murphy's insane device. Hey, I prefer the term brilliantly unconventional. We've basically given it cosmic indigestion. It's either got to retreat or destroy itself trying to stay here. The entity makes its choice. With a sound that makes several nearby asteroids shatter, it collapses in on itself, vanishing through a tear in space-time that seals behind it. Silence falls across all channels. Then. Did we just win? Ambassador Starweaver asks in disbelief. Check the readings, General Thompson orders. I want confirmation that thing's gone. Our sensors, those that still function, show no trace of the entity. The nearby space where it vanished is riddled with quantum distortions that will probably take centuries to settle, but the threat itself has disappeared. We won. The words feel strange in my mouth. We actually won. The celebrations that follow will go down in galactic history. Humans, it turns out, party with the same intensity they fight. The orbital station becomes a riot of music, laughter, and what they call dance moves that look suspiciously like combat maneuvers. I still can't believe it worked, I tell Blake during the festivities. We're watching Sol Brightwind attempt to teach Sergeant Turner our victory dance while she shows him something called the robot. That's our secret, she replies, sipping her drink. Half the time, we can't believe our plans will work either. We just do them anyway. That's terrifying. Thank you. The cleanup and repairs take weeks. The human ships, built with what they proudly call excessive redundancy, fare better than our more elegant vessels. Murphy spends the time collecting data, excitedly babbling about revolutionary breakthroughs and probably not destroying the universe. Director Patel's final report to the Galactic Council causes several members to need medical attention. The humans, she explains, didn't just drive off the entity, they proved it could be hurt. More importantly, they showed that the impossible was merely improbable. You know what the real victory is, General Thompson tells me as we watch the combined fleet prepare to head home. Not beating that thing. It's what comes next. What do you mean? Look around, he gestures to where human and alien crews work seamlessly together. A month ago, your people thought we were too dangerous to contact. Now we're trading technology, sharing stories, planning joint defense strategies. That entity didn't just bring us together, it showed us why we need each other. He's right. The Galactic Council has already voted to end Earth's quarantine. Human innovations are being studied by our scientists, while their engineers excitedly adapt our technology. There's talk of exchange programs, joint military exercises, and something called interstellar food festivals. Just promise me one thing, I tell Blake during our farewell ceremony. Next time you have an idea that might tear a hole in reality, you'll be the first one I call, she grins. Someone has to keep us from going too far. And someone has to push you to go far enough, I admit. Though perhaps with fewer quantum explosions next time. No promises. Final recording entry, galactic date 47,295.0. To summarize, for the historical archives, we faced an enemy that defied the laws of physics. And our solution was to ask help from a species that treats those laws more like gentle suggestions. The humans didn't just save us, they changed us. They showed us that sometimes the best answer isn't the most elegant one, but the one crazy enough to work. The entity may return. If it does, we'll be ready. Our weapons now incorporate human unpredictability. Our tactics include what they call thinking outside the box, though I'm still not sure what the box is or why we should avoid thinking inside it. More importantly, we've gained allies who view the impossible as a personal challenge. The same qualities that made us fear humans, their adaptability, their tenacity, their willingness to try absolutely ridiculous solutions, are exactly what we needed. Final note, I've been invited to Earth for something called a backyard barbecue. I'm told it involves intentionally burning food, loud music, and something called dad jokes. After facing down an entity that nearly destroyed reality, I should be terrified. Instead, I find myself looking forward to it. Perhaps that's the most surprising effect of working with humans. They make the terrifying seem fun, and the impossible seem possible. Though I'm still not trying the pineapple pizza. Admiral Kaz Nexus, signing off. Recording ends.